Forest Church is at 4 o'clock on a Sunday, and it happens monthly or thereabouts. We use the churchyard. We have a butterfly, bird and bee garden. We use the shelter on the school playground, and we have a willow house which we can use on the field and the nearby woodland and the forest school area, so we're very blessed. It's for all ages and everyone is welcome. We promote it through our Family Church WhatsApp group, we promote it through the primary school and also through our United Benefice magazine. And we have flyers for local toddler groups as well. So that's the church, the school and the local community. So I plan the Forest Church service with support from a wonderful team. Sian is a qualified forest school teacher and she always leads the outdoor activities.
So I do the outdoor activities, but we also have support from Vicki, our head teacher, and she often does the stories and reading the Bible reading. We also have Janet and our ukulele group, so they do this lead our singing. We have Rev Karen, of course, who brings it all together for us and shows the reflection and what we've learned from nature and helps us to think about how we can make the world a better place. We also have some of the older children. They really help us with the craft activities, and our social committee helps us with food and drink and always donations of cake and biscuits. And we've always got a photographer on hand as well, just to make sure that we get the photos to do the more promotions and to spread the message about Forest Church.
Well, before the pandemic, we used to have all-age worship and 2 Sunday school sessions every month. During lockdown, we started planting in our butterfly, bird and bee garden. And it was a very popular activity. We could invite one family at a time, and that was a safe thing to do outside and not mixing families. So we did have online services during lockdown, which did involve the children, and it was great, but families got used to not coming to church on a Sunday morning, so we really needed a new idea. And we had a new vicar as well, so it felt like the perfect time to try Forest Church. So in July 2021, we planned our first Forest Church, which was a little bit of a practice. We organised a walk from our church through the nearby woodland, and we linked it to the life cycle of a butterfly and the life of Jesus. And the theme was growth, transformation and new life. And we prayed that Forest Church would grow and transform the life of our church. And we've just done our number 11th Forest Church, so we do feel that our prayers have been answered.
It doesn't really cost much at all to run Forest Church. We try to use as much natural materials as possible and recycled materials, so things like wrapping paper, old pots, whatever we can find. That's mostly for our outdoor activities and our crafts. Our refreshments are quite often home-baked. They're quite often donated by the community, and it's lovely to get people involved in that way. And our social committee and church have paid for some of the more expensive items. Sometimes we do some fundraisers as well, just to help it along the way. But really, it doesn't cost much at all.
Well, our Forest Church services are part of our Golden Opportunity services, which we have in the United Benefice. And it's an opportunity for families and for children and for the community to come together and worship in God's beautiful creation. We're very blessed in such a rural area to have the outdoors to help us to worship in, but also to learn more about creation, how we can care for creation, and also learn more, of course, about God and how the Bible interacts. So it's a real important part of our mission and our outreach for this community here. And as you've seen today, the children are just fantastic and the families, and they absolutely love it. And it's a wonderful way of just getting all ages together. All ages are encouraged to come along and be part of that family here.
After hearing Bishop Philip's vision, we feel our Forest Church family is certainly a joyful community. We're really concerned about protecting God's world, and the children are absolutely at the heart of everything that we do.
it's been a huge bonus to both the school and the church. We have something that we call the Boulderstone Bridge, which links between, it's a metaphorical bridge, not a real one, between church and school. And the links that Forest Church has made, we started originally with our Forest School here, and with Sian running that, and then it's kind of organically grown into this kind of lovely symbiotic relationship between us and church. It's been really fantastic to see the kind of intergenerational side of it happening. So we get our parents, our grandparents. We have people who came to Balderstone School, 40 years ago coming back. And now what we're seeing is they really support the school. So they really support things that are happening within school. So they're more aware of what's going on in terms of school life. We're really aware now of church. And so this has brought in lots of different families to our school. It's really kind of raised the profile of school in the local area. And it's also been really inclusive. So we've had families that wouldn't ever come to church. It was far too formal, or they'd not been to church for a long time, coming back to church because this is a really gentle way in for us to be outside. And I've been able to say, I'll be there, Mrs. Draycott will be there. So those links between the staff and the parents and the children. And they get to see a different side of the teaching staff as well. They get to see the head teacher covered in mud, planting a wormery and doing fun crafts with them on a Sunday, which gives them a kind of a different perspective on me as well. So it's made a huge impact actually in the way the whole school worships together. It's made an impact throughout the week. We plan now together. So myself and Sian and Rosemary I can do the worship planning for school and think, right, what's coming up, what's going to happen in Forest Church, what might be happening in Forest School, and how can we link that with what's happening in our worship life in the school too. So we had children really wanting to become ambassadors for this, and so I took them to the Fair Trade Conference, and then they came back and went, right, we need a Forest Church that's Fair Trade themed. So they've really challenged us actually to make a difference. So yeah, huge impact.
Well, we are always on the move and everything fits in with the theme. So we meet in church and Rev Karen welcomes everyone and says an opening prayer. And then we usually use our screen to introduce the theme of the service. Then off we go outside to do some activities outside, such as searching using spotter sheets, planting, collecting things, building hedgehog homes, blowing bubbles. Then we go into the Willow House for the Bible reading. Then we go onto the playground to sing with the ukulele group in the shelter. And our vicar, Rev Karen, leads her reflection, and then into school. And we have refreshments and the children enjoy their craft activities.
Right, one of the key things we do is have a WhatsApp family WhatsApp group. So people who then connect with us and our families who do connect with us are kept informed of what's going on when services are happening, and that helps them to feel part of the community. And I'm in the schools every week as well, and just getting to know the families through that way, and through our all-age services once a month are another way that the church and families can really start connecting together.
It actually has been really lovely to see how that has happened, because over the course of the last kind of 11 weeks, we've seen children families that just came along to play out really with us and have fun, to really then have some quite theological conversations afterwards. And even though it seems like it, today we've been planting oak trees and it's the conversation that then goes round with that. And we've had families who might not automatically pick up a Bible come and ask more and come and ask us, about that particular reading. We've also had parents of different faiths come together in Forest Church, which has been amazing for us as a church school, because we've had some really deep conversations about the similarities and differences between different faiths. And we've also seen that the impact is that those parents and children will then want to come to all age worship. And they want to find out a little bit more. And as they get to know each of us and some of the other people within the church, they come back and they might say, well, actually, I will have a think about Alpha now. I will have a think about something else, because they know that we're not going to quiz them or make them read any hard passages from the Bible or do anything particularly tricky. It's really kind of opened up that for them in a safe environment.
It's been really lovely to engage everybody in connecting God's creation and get an appreciation for our earth and protecting our earth. And it's just an ideal way for us to learn more about the Bible, more about our church message of love and hope, and bring it all to life through nature. We're always watching the weather forecast. It can be chilly, breezy, we can end up with drizzle. We've been really lucky so far. We haven't had to cancel in any way, but if it was a problem, we would move more of it indoors. We make sure it's suitable for all ages. We don't want to make sure it's just for children or just for older. We want to make sure the whole community is involved. Sometimes the date of the service can be difficult if it's during holiday time, but usually we get a good group of children and adults that want to come along. And one of the things we're really thinking about at the moment is that lack of light, because it does get dark earlier, and so we just need to be aware of that, although sometimes that can work to our advantage, and we have used that theme of light as well.
Can you tell me what you like about Forest Church?
I enjoy learning about God in the outdoors.
You get to see your friends again. Because I left to go to high school, then we don't see each other as much.
Why do you like Forest Church?
Because it's fun.
It's fun. And can you tell me anything about what you've learned about God and Jesus and the Bible through Forest Church?
We learn about what's right and what we should do in our lives and what Jesus would have wanted us to do.
We're a farming family, so anything outdoors really appeals to all my children. And there's always a really good variety of crafts and songs and stories. So my children range from 11 to 6, and they all still love coming, which is really good. We've been coming to church for a while, but this is certainly a really good new addition to the church services for us. It's also really nice because a lot of the other children come, and my eldest daughter now has actually left the school here, so it's a really nice chance for her to catch up with her friends who've also left primary school as well.
The school have put a lot of effort in. Rosemary, who's organising things, she's been wonderful. So it's really helped to build the bridge back between church and school, and it keeps the older children coming, and it's been a great activity, hasn't it? I think we've really enjoyed it.
What would you say to one of your friends who hasn't been to Forest Church before, who might be thinking about coming?
That it's a fun and exciting way to learn about Jesus, but it includes all ages.
Definitely come along and give it a go. It's great for children from tiny tots up to teenagers, and also really nice for adults as well.
Really, it's not too difficult because there is no prescribed format, so you can plan whatever works best for you. I would say start small and develop your own style of service. Look at your outdoor space, see what you've got and think how best you can use it. It's sensible to carry out a basic risk assessment before you start, and also have a first aider with a first aid kit to hand. Check your route and your settings just before the service. Try and find people with talents and encourage them to help. Always consider the weather and the lack of light when planning, and make sure you have parental consent as well for taking photos or filming. And because it's multi-generational, it's really important to provide outdoor seating for adults in case they want to sit down during the outdoor activities.
We also think it's a really good idea to start a WhatsApp group. It's a great way to promote the services, and especially the Forest Church services, and it helps people feel connected in that community. Be flexible, be prepared for anything to change if it's due to the weather or something not quite working as you expect it to. Keep most of the sections short, but allow people to have time to reflect and think things through. Be very clear about what you want them to learn or discover or gain, and really focus in on that. But also be realistic. We sometimes have them during holiday time, but actually that might not be the greatest time to do a Forest Church service. It does encourage our people to come to church, but we feel prayer is very important within our benefice to help us to lead these worships, including Forest Church.